Northwick Park is a large acute hospital, and I'm in charge of the dispensing for discharge service, which is where we dispense the medicines for patients, and we're dispensing them on the wards. We had two services where we had some wards were dispensing for discharge, where we prepared all the medicines before when they arrived on the wards at admission, and then they were ready for discharge. And then we had another service which were all done in dispensary, and everything was done at the point of discharge. Then we decided to merge those two teams, and we dispensed everything in the main dispensary, and then everything went up to the wards thereafter. And then from that point we noticed that the TTA turnaround time was becoming increasingly longer. So that's the reason why we decided to start dispensing the medicines on the wards and using these portable labellers. So previously the system worked by the pharmacist would screen the TTAs on the ward, and then we would then print out the discharge letter in the main dispensary, which is down in pharmacy. Then we would then put that forward to be labelled and then dispensed and then checked by the pharmacist and the pharmacy technician. And then we have portering rounds which happen every, I think it's 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And then those medicines would get bagged up and then go up at each time. So within that time when I piloted it, that took about 2 hours and 40 minutes roughly from the point of the TTA being screened by the pharmacist to actually arriving to the patient's bedside and actually having the patient having the medicines. So then after that, when we implemented the Toshiba labellers, we had a satellite pharmacy which we implemented up on one of the wards where we keep the labellers up there. As soon as the pharmacist screens the TTA, the technician prints the TTA out up on the ward, they dispense it straight away up on the ward, and then we're cutting out that portering time, and then the patients are there ready for the patient to take home straight away. And that was taking roughly about 35 minutes. So we shaved off about 2 hours of patients staying in bed. The main one is that it complies with Carter report, because the staff are more patient facing because they're actually up on the wards rather than being based in the main pharmacy dispensary. And then once we have those medicines, we can actually counsel those patients with the medicines present, which means patients are going to be more compliant with their medicines and hopefully prevent readmissions with regards to medicine related issues. It also streamlines the processes in the dispensary because there's not as much workload coming down in the main dispensary, and it was getting quite overcrowded and very busy in there. It also helps with patients getting out of bed sooner because we've reduced the turnaround time from 2 hours and 40 minutes to 35 minutes. So you could potentially be saving the trust money that way as well. And also it's beneficial to the nursing staff as well, because they don't necessarily have to come down to pharmacies. So for any urgent medicines, they would have to come down to pharmacy to pick up those TTAs rather than waiting those 2 hours and 40 minutes for them to arrive up to the ward. So it's saving their time as well. So it's beneficial to not only the patients, it's also the nursing staff on the wards, and also the pharmacy department as well, because we're being more patient facing, which is, I guess, more enjoyable role. The current dispensary software we use is JAC. We could set it up quite easily with Toshiba labellers. We also have tablets and laptops which we use on the wards, which were also easy to set up JAC on, and Toshiba actually came along and helped us install all of that. So the current wards we're using this on are our dispensing for discharge wards. They generally are acute medicine wards, which are patients that are short stay. They're in and out quite quickly, so we want to discharge them as soon as possible. And also our general medicine wards, so that's our cardiology wards, our endocrine wards and respiratory wards. They're quite complex patients, so we like to try and get their discharges done as soon as possible because their TTAs could potentially take longer. The plan is for the future that we will roll this out to other wards. We've added in recently our gastro ward, which is a part of St Mark's, and then the future is maybe we were thinking of implementing it onto our surgical wards, because again, they're quite simple TTAs that we can get the patients out a lot quicker than your 2 hours and 40 minutes. I definitely recommend this solution to other hospitals, because it's not just our hospital that's having the same issues of patients staying in hospital for 2 hours and 40 minutes longer than they actually need to. That's happening everywhere in other trusts. So yeah, I definitely think it's a good thing to look at.